Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from SimpleProGrammer.com. So I'm out here in what's called Kate O. Sessions Memorial Park in Pacific Beach. It's a pretty awesome view. I'll give you a look here. You can check it out. Not the sunniest day today, so it's not as beautiful as it normally is, but I'm up here and I thought I'd do a video. I thought I'd do a video for you graduates that are graduating, primarily high school graduates, since there's so many of you that are watching this channel, I know. But I guess this advice would still apply to college graduates as well. So a couple of thoughts just as you're sort of entering the real world here and entering the workforce. Some of you going to college, some of you doing different things with your life. I thought I'd give a few words. What would I advise someone, in your position? First of all, the thing I would say, I think, is not to rush. That you've got a lot of time and you've got a lot of opportunity in front of you, and you can be tempted to rush. It doesn't mean to be lazy and to not work hard. Definitely you need to do that, but to realize that what could be accomplished in 5 years, what could be accomplished in a decade, and that you don't want to optimize for things that could be accomplished in 1 or 2 years. So with that, I would say that what you really want to make sure that you focus on is doing things that have long-term benefits. You've got to survive, you've got to make some money, in order to survive, but don't focus on making the money. What I mean by that is upfront. Don't trade your hours for dollars. It's really tempting to do that, to try and make the highest paying job that you can, to get the most salary or hourly rate or whatever you can in order to be able to make the most money. But the thing that's really going to benefit you the most in life is not going to be the amount of money, the short amount of money that you can acquire, and the short amount of hours that you can work in a week or over your lifetime. In fact, let's do some numbers here. When I was, just 18 or 19, I got a job and I was making, like $175,000 a year. And I ran the numbers on that, and you can listen to my story actually, and I talk about kind of what happened to me. But basically, I ran the numbers, and I realized that even if I saved as much as I possibly could after taxes and everything else and living expenses, it would take me like 15 or 20 years making that amount of money to even become a millionaire, which is sort of, when you think about it, if you're not making anywhere near that amount of money, you got to have a better plan, right? And so where that's going to come from is investments that you make, for example, in real estate. This is something that at your age I would be getting into right away. Check out some of my videos. I've got a playlist on that, on real estate investment. But I'd be thinking about that right now. Think about the things that are going to be long-term, that are going to benefit you in the long term, because you've got a lot of years ahead of you. And the best time to start is now. So what I would say there is, think about things that are going to be cumulative in effect, right? So things like investments that you make in your knowledge and your wisdom and your experience are going to benefit you for the rest of your life, and they're going to accumulate over time. They're going to accumulate, and they're going to continue to pay you back. Things that you might do, like writing a book, let's say, or even creating a blog, writing blog posts. If you haven't signed up for my blogging course, do that. Start a blog. Start learning how to market yourself now, because building up that reputation and brand is going to benefit you for your whole career. Whereas, trading some time to work and getting paid for it is only going to benefit you once. But every blog post you write, when I do YouTube videos, every YouTube video that I create, right, every course that I make, that I sell, every hour that I put into my business, that I'm generating content that is going to be watched and used over time, over years, is going to have a huge pay over time. The more that you accumulate like that, the more that you're going to get paid for the time that you've invested once. So the name of the game is really how much time can you invest that's going to pay you more than once, more than 1 hour. When you put in 1 hour worth of time, how many things can you do that are going to pay you back 10 hours, 100 hours, 1,000 hours over the course of your life? The more of those things that you accumulate, that's the way to get rich. That's the way to be extremely successful and also impact the largest number of lives, if that's what you're interested in, which you should be, because there's no one that is going to be successful without creating value for others, at least not in the long term, and be happy doing that. The other thing I'd warn you about is to watch out for the crabs in the bucket. Anytime a crab makes a leap for the rim of a bucket, the other crabs try to grab that crab and pull them down. And you're going to see that. If you go a different path than what everyone's telling you in life, if you try to go out on your own and be successful, and if you have any measure of success, you're no doubt going to encounter other crabs that are going to try and pull you down. But you got to ignore them. It's tempting to give into peer pressure. It's tempting to feel like you must not know the answers because everyone else is telling you to do something, but you've got to trust yourself. And the thing is, as long as you are willing to work hard, as long as you're willing to put in the effort, as long as you're willing to spend the time to do what needs to be done, you're going to ultimately be successful. And success doesn't look like what most people think it does. Success looks like falling down into a lot of pits and then building ladders and climbing out of them and falling down again as you're progressing forward. You're failing forward. So don't expect success to come without failure. You're going to have plenty of failures. You're going to have plenty of times that you're going to think you've gone down the wrong path or that you're going to want to give up, but you got to push on. That's you have to learn. If there's one skill besides learning how to learn, which I've definitely covered here, at least in my course, Intensive Learning Quickly, or in some of my videos, I've talked about this concept of learning how to learn. You can check out the blog post, actually, learning how to learn here. But if there's one other skill I would wish that you would accumulate or that you would gain, it would be the skill of learning how to persevere when you don't have motivation. Because a lot of people will have passion and motivation for things, but that will eventually fade. That'll eventually disappear. You'll eventually lose motivation. But those that can push on, those people that can push on without motivation, that can have a vision and a purpose and know that they're not going to wake up and feel like doing what they need to do every day, but they're going to keep on, somehow they're going to make themselves do it. I did a nice video on discipline, and that's essentially what that is. You can check that out. But if you could have that skill, you'll be able to accomplish your goals. Because a lot of people, the reason why they fail, the reason why they don't accomplish anything, the reason why they don't succeed, is they stop 3 feet from gold. In fact, there's a good book for you to read. It's called 3 Feet from Gold, and it talks about this idea. It's a nice story format, but you don't let that be you. Don't stop 3 feet from gold. Keep pushing. You never know how close you are, and so many people stop just short of success because they give up, because they get tired. You got to be able to push on even though you're tired. You got to be able to endure. You need mental strength. So I think that's all that I've got for you right now. I guess I'll add one more piece of advice. There's obviously a volume of advice that I could give you. If you're a new software developer starting out, obviously I've already written this up in soft skills. Definitely check out my book if you haven't, because I basically wrote that book with the idea that what would be the book that I would write if I could get in a time machine and go back 15 years and hand myself a book. That would be it, and that's why I wrote that book. But I would also tell you that the path is not what everyone tells you it is. Yes, you can go to college and you can get good grades and you can get a job and put money in the 401k. That's fine, but you don't have to do that. There's a lot more options in life. I didn't realize this when I was your age. I wish I did. I wish someone had told me. I wish someone had woken me up and showed me that there were other ways, that there were other paths, there were other things that I could do. But I didn't know that. But you have the opportunity. There's no one that can tell you that you have to. Don't let fear drive you. Don't let the fear of security drive you. One of the things that drove me for such a long time was trying to build this wall, this fortress of security around myself, trying to make sure that financially everything was okay and that there was nothing that could stop me. But you can't protect against everything, and you should take risks, calculated risks, smart risks. But don't let people tell you. Don't let fear bully you into taking the mediocre path. There's a lot more things that you can do. There's a lot more options that you have rather than just going down the traditional path that everyone goes down. So anyway, that's all the advice that I've got for you for today, for this year, for graduation. Maybe next year I'll have another video on graduation. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.